Hello, good evening, everyone. This is your host, Alamjeet Flora, and welcome to the Wednesday Talk Show, brought to you by Pothos Events, Sweden. Today, we have back with us Dr. Rajesh Savera, who's been your favorite guest on this show, and he is back today. For the new ones who've not met Dr. Savera earlier, I would just like to introduce him to you. Dr. Savera is an Ayurvedic physician, a psychotherapist, and a counselor. He's also related to DXN, and he's been on many as a director on many DXN Group. He's the founder of Sunyatee International Foundation, which aims in reviving India's culture and peace and prosperity. Dr. Savera has been a special assistant to Dr. Lim, who is the chairman of DXN. He, along with Dr. Lim, has also come up with something called Sunyati. Sunyati is sorry, Sunyatee International Foundation is also aiming at doing Shunya meditation and a transformative technique that bestows inner peace and paves the way for prosperity. Sorry for my voice. I have not been keeping too well with it. Thanks for bearing with that. And let's welcome Dr. Savera on the show.
Hey,
Hi,
good morning,
Rajesh.
Alan.
Hi. Sorry for that very croaky introduction, but welcome to the Wednesday Talk Show. And, I would just like you to introduce yourself again to all our viewers who've joined us new on this show. And welcome all the viewers who are joining us. So thanks for joining and keep connected and keep asking your questions. So, hi.
Yeah, hi. So, good morning, and it's good that we witness some kind of problems like these, because that makes us feel that we are real in a real world, not in just a fantasy world. Like as you said, now your throat is not doing well. Same is with our minds also. Sometimes our minds also doesn't do well, and
Yeah.
we have to take care of our minds, and that's what all this is all about. I have been, Alam, in this search of what is the mind, how can one settle the mind, and how can a settled mind achieve something that one wants to achieve. This has been my journey for last, say, 2 decades or more. And that's how I got connected to my teacher and master, the Zen master, Dr. Lim, who
Yeah.
runs a huge enterprise by the name of DXN. And he's also into the health and wellness segment. And that was the common connect between us. But the major factor that really bond us together as a teacher and disciple was the study of the mind. And that's what I've been doing now last 4 5 years, where I'm actually digging ancient texts and unrevealing the mystery that has been hidden on the potential of a stable mind and the destruction an unstable mind can bring forth in the lives of people, which we call suffering. And if you see, the world is full of suffering is only because the minds are not stable. Otherwise, the same world is beautiful, is amazing. It's the heaven here that we can experience.
Very true. Very, very well said. Very well said. And we have many people joining. So we have Renu Patkar and we have Sharmishita joining us. So thank you for joining. And, we'll begin with this. Our topic today is mind, mindset, meditation mindset. And many people get confused between this whole concept. So can you first clarify what we are going to talk about?
So yeah, so most of the time we want to have a mind to meditate, but
Yeah.
meditation is not a willing choice that you can just decide and it can happen. It's like a child, your
Yeah.
child is very mischievous, and you go out to a party and you want your child to be well behaved and not do anything wrong there. But is it possible? No. As soon as you keep going to keep the child down, the child is
Yeah.
not going to be under your control anymore. He's going to go out being as mischievous as he can, instead more, because he's in a new environment, more curious, trying to explore many things. And
Yeah.
that's exactly when the mind gets out of control. So for us to have a mind in our control, we need to train it, we need to discipline it, we need to guide it, and we need to make sure that when we say something, the mind does exactly like that, like a disciplined child. So that's what mindset or setting the mind is all about. And that's what going to be our discussion today on this show.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. We all have had experiences with children who don't listen exactly when we want them to listen. So you're perfectly right. So, for someone new to meditation, what are the steps that they could take? And I'm aware that Shunya meditation helps in a lot of ways. So, what could be their initial, steps to help themselves?
Okay, so before that, let us understand what is meditation and how one can meditate. Meditation is to understand that the five senses and the sixth one, the mind itself, as a sense organ. We have
Yeah.
five sense organs, and we have the sixth sense organ, the mind itself. We have to settle the mind. So we need to make sure the object of the mind, that is the thoughts, do not disturb it. Like, for example, I want to focus on something. My eyes are focusing on something, but if there is distraction around my eyes might tend to get out of focus and look at those things.
Yeah.
Similarly, I want to listen to something, but yet suddenly else somebody else starts shouting, yelling, or saying something. My focus and attention will go there with their sound. So subject to subject, the objects can be an interference in the focus, and
Yeah.
hence we need to understand that meditation is to disconnect between the subject and the object, subject being the sense organ, object
Mm.
being its object on which it senses. So to disconnect or to cut it off, or to at least for a moment separate them out. Like, for example, I'm looking at something. If I close my eyes, I'm cutting off that sensation. If I'm hearing something, somebody is saying something bad, if I want to cut myself off, I just close my ears.
Yeah.
Similarly, if I don't want to eat something, I shut my mouth. The same way is with the mind. But you can do that with your eyes, you can do that with your ears, you can do that with your nose, with your mouth, even with your skin, you can do that. But what about thoughts? When they come, do you have the ability to say, hey, don't come, I don't want you to disturb me? It doesn't
Yeah.
happen. The thoughts come knocking at your door. They just don't knock, they can actually bulldoze and enter into your house, okay, of peace.
Mm.
Hence,
Correct.
one has to know how to disconnect, and that's exactly we train. And this training is more about not participating but observing. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
We all know India is known for the game of cricket. In
Yeah.
cricket, you see, we have players on 11 players on one side, the 11 players on the other side competing with each other. Now
Right.
they are competing with each other. They are going to use all the means, their skills, their cunningness, their smartness, and everything just to win. But there is
Right.
one person on the ground who makes sure that there is a law that they play with. They don't break the law, and that is the umpire. He
Empire. Yeah.
watches. Yeah. So we have an umpire who watches whether the bowler is bowling it right, whether the batsman is exactly playing according to the way he should play, whether the ball is high or low. Everything, he has to make sure the rules that was set, there
Hmm.
is somebody who is following the rules. And if he's following the rules, well and good. If he doesn't, he's the person who's going to tell them out. Okay, so this guy is the watcher. Similarly,
Correct.
in our life, while we go into engaging with so many things, we take up responsibility as parents, as employees, as businessmen, as artists. We are engaging with the world, but there
Yeah.
should be somebody who should be watching us, and that is our own self. That's what we call awareness. And
Awareness. Yeah.
Shunya is cultivating that awareness skill of watching you in game, so that you don't break the rule of your own game. So
Correct.
that's meditation that we teach. It's called the Shunya meditation. It's an ancient art of India. It's basically it's called dhyana.
Hmm.
Dhyana went to China. They could not pronounce the, so they don't say dhyan, they say chan. So it became Chan meditation there. And Chan
Okay.
went to Japan. They cannot pronounce chan. So they say Zen. So it became Zen. So now you know the word
It's the
Zen.
same thing.
Yeah, is the same thing.
Oh, lovely. That's a good realization for us here. We didn't know. Good. So we know as humans, we have a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of things and distractions as we've already spoken about. So, how can some meditation techniques that can be applied in real life situation, to handle this stress?
Yeah, life is full of all these things, the anxiety, the worry, the uncertainty, and we face that every day
Yeah.
because of our nature of the mind to attach. because without attachment you cannot interact with the world. So attachment is our basic nature. It's like we want to climb the ladder, you will need to hold the ladder and you need to step on the ladder. But
Yeah.
if your leg gets stuck on a particular ladder path, then you cannot move up. Many a times in this life we are trying to move forward, but somehow, due to emotions, due to our thoughts bothering us, due to our expectations, we get stuck. And
Yeah.
this ticking along of the mind causes so much turmoil within us, okay, that we are not able to see things clearly, not make judgments rightly, and we suffer to an extent that people even go so crazy that they would even dare to commit suicide. Now, that's where exactly, as I said, a game, when you have a mediator like an umpire who watches the game, it is always good that we know that the game will be played by law. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what we do in meditation. We watch our lives, we watch, make sure that we follow the five good principles, we interact with people in a good way, our intentions are right. But who's going to watch? We have to learn to watch. So we teach how to observe. But to observe things that are ever changing, it's not possible, because the reality of life is everything changes always.
Yeah.
And that's the illusion we are living in. You see, me and you, we were in the same school, but how you look and how I look, we have changed completely. What we knew then, what we know now has changed completely. What you're doing now and what I'm doing now is completely different. Things are changing, and over another 10, 15 years, maybe, I'm there, you're not there. Who knows what is going to happen? Because we
Yeah.
are in a flux. This
True.
means that to see something that is ever changing, you'll need to hold on to something and train yourself. How do I train myself? Is by watching something that I have, which is not related to the five senses and also to the mind. What is that thing? I cannot take an idol and I start meditating on the idol. I cannot take
Hmm.
a sound and meditate on the sound. So visual and auditory are out. I cannot take a incense stick and start smelling and saying, I meditate on the incense stick. No, I cannot do that, because those things will still cause attachment, because they are sensory. I need
Yeah.
something that is not sensory at all, not even thinking about something and meditating. No, I need to get out of all these six senses and their
Wow.
subjects. And how do I do that? By only one thing, and that is observing the breath. Because breath is the binder of the mind and the body. You see, when we are sick, when the body is sick, the first
Yeah.
thing that we see affected is our breath.
Our
Our
breath.
breath
Yeah.
cannot go deeper.
We just experienced
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. And when the mind is also not stable, you see that on the breath again. Like when
Yeah.
just anger is about to come, this thing, the breath is a reflection of both, and
Yeah.
hence it becomes the most amazing medium on which, if we pay our attention on and we observe the breath, we actually get the insight into observing the mind, the nature of the mind and the body. And that's exactly what we teach. And very simple, it's very simple. Like right now I can tell you, it's so simple. Like, you need to count in a reverse order, 9 to 0, and observe your breath going in and out. So when
Okay.
the breath goes in and comes out, we see 9 inside our mind.
Yeah.
Again we observe in, out, 8, and you keep on doing this. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now what did I do? I got my awareness to engage my mind to observe the cycle of breath and also count. So it
Yeah.
was doing two things. It was counting and also watching the breath. This is exactly what we have to do. When we look at life and the situations, we develop two skills. One is the ability to see things clearly as they are, and
Yeah.
second, having the insight to pass the right judgment based on the situation in reality, not on based of emotions of the past or the future. And when you do this, there are levels in which you practice of observation. So awareness is cultivated over a period of time.
Wow. And if you can do it yourself to help yourself, I think nothing better than that. So great.
Absolutely.
You just showed us a technique, of how we can do, but of course we will crave for more. So, in a daily life, how does one help themselves? in creating this awareness? Are there any
Discipline.
techniques?
Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
technique, and this will happen only you discipline. As I said, the child is mischievous, but what to do? It is our
Mm.
child. We cannot just whack him and leave him along. We need to carry him along with us in every party we go, in every function we go. You just cannot leave your mischievous child in the house. Lock him
True.
up. No, no, no. This Cinderella story doesn't work here. Here you need to carry them along because we are still
True.
alive. We are there, and our mind is like a child. Okay, even
Yeah.
though it is not stable, we call it the monkey mind, and it keeps
Correct.
on jumping. But that's what
Jump.
my children are also like that. So this mind you cultivate through discipline, and every day, if people can spare even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but consistently over a period of time, like a drop of water that falls on a rock consistently over a period of time can actually dig a hole in the rock itself. Okay,
Hmm.
even though the water doesn't have that much power to do that, but its
Yeah.
consistency, its discipline can even do that. So how easy it is if we can cultivate discipline in our life and then carry that discipline through one practice in all the aspects of our life will
Yeah.
become so amazing. And hence meditation is a practice where you discipline your mind so that it carries that discipline of focus and
Hmm.
attention and awareness in everything it does in life. And
Yeah.
that is why I say meditation is not just sitting for 5 minutes, it's practicing for 5 minutes, but then carrying it along for the rest of the 24 hours of your day.
Yeah. But consistency is something, the self motivation that you need for meditating, especially with so many distractions. We are so distracted with reels, and also our mind is like in a different form all the time. So, how does one stay committed to this, meditating every day?
So, one is you should have a will, a desire,
Mm.
a wish. If you have a wish and you have a will and you have a desire that this is what exactly I seek for, if you really seek for peace, then you definitely will go for it. So
Yeah.
then you just have to do one thing, a discipline of 5 minutes, whatever it costs. You make a vow for yourself, a promise to yourself that whatever happens in the 24 hours of my day, I can spare 5 minutes. 5 minutes is not much, but do it for
Mm.
5 minutes. It's like even if I want to go to the gym and make my body, I know I
Yeah.
desire to go, but I just cannot because my mind keeps on procrastinating. It does not like change. Mind doesn't
Yeah.
like change. Mind likes to be in the same thing, doing the same thing again and again. But if I discipline, okay, no problem. I talk to my mind. Today you just go to the gym and you may just sit there and come back again. It's okay. So first step is going there. Maybe just talking to a few people. The second step. Third step, maybe just stretching up a little bit, maybe lifting a little thing, maybe now started to cultivate that. It's love for a thing that you spend time with. Actually it happens, then you don't need to do anything. Discipline is
Mm.
an outcome of you actually investing your time in something. Once you
Yeah.
invest your time, forget the result. Results will come automatically. The fact that you invest time into something, love for that thing is automatically born. And when love is there, I think the rest is just passion, because somebody who's
Yeah.
passionate is definitely in love with the thing he's doing. And then once he loves it, there is no more procrastination, there is no more reasoning, no more excuses. The person just knows that yes, whatever it is, 5 minutes is not much for me, I can sit. And trust me, Alam, I have met people who could not even sit for 1 minute after they
Uh-huh.
started the simple practice of shunya of 5 minutes and sitting down and breaking, taking that, cutting off from everything.
Yeah.
They now sit for hours, 1 hour, 2 hours. They can
Wow.
sit and they carry that stillness in their life. They carry
Mm.
that stillness in their life. And you see, when you carry the stillness in your life across, you can make many more people still and peaceful and calm.
Yeah. True, true, true. Very nice. I just realized I'm wearing a very nice t-shirt. It's called
Oh,
Disconnect to Connect.
disconnect to connect.
So
Oh,
what
this is
what you just said,
perfect. Perfect. You need to
it's a
disconnect.
perfect one. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it relates to what you have been talking about, Sunyatee also. So
Yeah.
so we do have, this fast-paced world that we are living in, and of course, we need instant gratification and validation for what we are doing. So the mindset and the mental awareness, is like in all places. How do we become more realistic now with things around us?
Yeah. So now, again, if you see, the bottom line for all this is awareness. Okay.
Hmm.
Once when we are aware, we will start engaging with reality as it is. We know everything is changing around us. Things are not going to remain permanent. Everything
Yeah.
is interconnected. We all are dependent and interdependent on each other. We cannot be singled out completely. We cannot single out somebody out completely. We are all related beings. And
Yeah.
hence, when we see reality, when we engage with the world, we have to work as a part of a team, as a part of a family, as a part of a society. You cannot separate one part of the society from the other part.
Hmm.
Doing that is like discriminating. Discrimination is always the reason for chaos. Discrimination is always the reason for all the wars in the world. But when you see that everything is just interconnected in different forms, but trying to fill up the same container of life, we realize that everybody matter in their own way and everybody have their own purpose. Then we actually are more humble. We respect everybody in whatever form they are contributing, and we then actually make more sense to life. And hence, everybody do their part, we do our part, we contribute to the existence, we contribute to life itself. And whatever we can offer in this phase of our being, we can
Yeah.
contribute in that. And that is reality. Reality is knowing that we are here on a on a purpose, with a purpose, and that purpose has to be fulfilled. How do I know, out of the 10 keys that I have in a bunch of key sets,
Hmm.
which one does open the lock? What can I do? How do I know? I'll have
I
to
have to
keep on
try.
trying. I'll
Yeah.
try one, the second one. Then if I keep on holding, no, this one is the only one, I don't want the nine, and throw it, I might spend
Yeah.
whole life, but it will never open,
Never.
But if I
Hmm.
keep all 10 with me and I try, oh, it doesn't work. Okay. Then I try, it doesn't work. You will know that out of the 10, there is one that will definitely work. So you see, 9 times we have to give up. We have to let go, so
Yeah.
that the one time that you get, you'll know that it just happened to you. Because that key of success, that purpose that you are meant for is already there. So the reality is to not hold on to things. You will know them only and only when you engage. So we talk about karma yoga. So karma
Yeah.
yoga is the base that Krishna also talks about. And every teacher has said, get back to work, do your duty. When we do our duty, we engage with the world. We try to unlock the world with us as the key to find
Right.
something that we can do for the society. And this unlocking is our liberation, is our key to liberation. So through work, we liberate ourselves, our family, and the suffering of this world.
Wow, well said. We had the topic last week was Gita, Bhagavad Gita.
Wow.
And yeah, this is what we, kind of you've actually just summarized what we did last week. So and now this, after everyone hears to this, I think they can connect to what we are talking. So it's become an interesting part of the episode now. So can
maybe
you
maybe they
provide
can
us?
maybe they can go and watch that episode to connect this again.
Exactly, so it's become like a whole thing series now, which they
Good,
can
good.
watch. Yeah, so it's good. So, I have this question, like, can you provide insights of integrating mindfulness and meditation into common daily activities?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Once you learn to observe something that you have 24 by
Hmm.
7, that's your breath. You
Yeah.
start observing it. You watch over it without forcing yourself. I'm not talking about pranayama. Pranayama means I force myself. This is called pranayama, something that is happening naturally. I'm just trying to force it to take control over it. I don't
Yeah.
need to. Right, the water is flowing. What is the point in pushing the water? Let it
Correct.
flow. It is going to go. My breath is happening to me. There's no point in taking a deep breath and leaving. So we are a school of no effort, but a school that observes all the effort that we do. Okay, so
Right.
we teach people to observe. Now this means if I cultivate awareness and observing skills, I can carry this in everything I do. Then if I'm studying and I'm watching my mind study. So
Hmm.
I am actually 100% involved in studying. I'm reading, I read. When I'm writing, I'm writing. When I am with my family and the kids, and we all are enjoying, we are enjoying. When I'm on duty, I'm doing my duty, I'm 100% on duty and doing my duty. When I'm in the present moment, I don't worry about the past and I
Yeah.
don't think of the future. I learn to remain in moments, and
Right.
moment after moment when I live, I am actually in complete mindfulness. This mindfulness practice is actually like when you're driving, don't think anything, just think about driving. Watch
Yeah.
your road, then there's no way you're going to meet an accident, right? So
Right.
everything, when you're mindful, all the accidents and all the unfortunate things, they just go away from life because you're watchful. Because you're
Yeah.
watchful, you're careful, you're aware, unfortunate things and they never knock your door, and then you become automatically the fortunate one. And then people say, hey, how things are happening to you, how fortunate you are. You're fortunate because all the things that bring
You're taking.
unfortunate things,
Yeah.
you're taking it away by mindfulness. So mindfulness is being in a moment 100%. When you're with your
Wow.
friends, don't think about family. When you're with your family, don't think about your friends. When you're doing
Yes.
your job, don't think anything, do your job. Everything in the moment. And when you can develop that skill through the practice of the Shunya meditation that we see, the practice of awareness, we actually, in Sanskrit, it is called Samatha Vipassana. Samatha means to bring balance, Samat,
Hmm.
okay?
Okay.
And Vipassana means, V means special, Pasyana means to see, specially see when things are balanced. So
Okay.
once you bring balance, you can see things clearly, right? So
Right.
you want to do something, you need to first bring balance to your mind. You have to stable the mind, so there is this great ancient book called the MAS, we call it in short MAS. It's Maha Annapana Smriti Sutra. It talks
Mhm.
about the good karma and bad karma, and it very nicely summarizes it. He says all the actions done with an unstable mind are bad karma, all the actions done with a stable mind are good karma. So good karma and bad karma depend on the state of the mind.
Nice. Very nice. That's a good angle to look at karma. I never had this view of it. So thank you for that. And as you were talking about being fully aware, we are also having a lot of issues about overthinking. People overthink a lot. So what do you think about that? Like, how can this meditation mindset help?
So you train your mind to stop thinking will automatically bring about a skill in your mind to not think. But you need
Mm.
to actually train it. Otherwise, mind is like it will want to think. Its job is that, like the eyes. Once you
Yeah.
open it, it will want to see. You cannot say that don't see. Its job is to see. Same is with the mind. But you need to train it. You need to train your mind so that it can stop thinking. And once you are able to do that, then this problem of overthinking, problems arising because of overthinking, like anxiety, worry, stress,
Yeah.
they automatically go away. So I have to train my mind to do that. So what we do in our Shunya practice is we
Yeah.
start with the 9 to 0 journey. Make
Ah,
sure that you're able to complete that 9 to 0. Out of 10, two people can complete this. Okay, so the
oh,
20% of the people can do this, and
okay.
80% still cannot do it on the first go. I'm talking about the first go.
Let's
Then
go.
we test them. If you can do that, that means you have still the mind in your control. A person
Right.
who has lost his mind cannot do it. So they
Mhm.
cannot finish the count. Okay. People suffering with chronic diseases like psoriasis and psychosomatic diseases, they have a
Mm.
hard time even finishing 9 to 0 because their minds are
Mhm.
completely out of control. So we do
Okay.
this in analyzing their physical conditions also when we see
Mm.
their state of mind. Then we give the second level is if you're able to do 9 to 0 very nicely and not missing the count and you're able to observe your breath, we put
Yeah.
them onto the second level, that is 29 to 0. Then they have to finish 29 to 0. Now
Okay.
out of 10, almost 1% of the 1% can finish that. So 9% have a kind of
Still.
we say depression, the
Mhm.
life existential depression of life, expectations and all those things, the worry that keeps on coming. So 29 to 0 is almost still staying still for 5 minutes. If somebody can remain in that, we say,
Mm.
wow, you got control on your mind to keep it calm. That's very
Right.
nice. Then we put them on a test for 99 to 0. They have to sit and watch their breath, and the whole cycle all counts 99 to 0. Here, out of
Wow.
100, 100 out of 100 cannot do it on the first go. So
It's not
0%.
surprising.
Yeah. So you can understand the state of the mind of not remaining.
Mm.
But the day you can do practice every day, one day you achieve that stableness and serenity, that 99 to 0, you're able to do it, and you don't
Mm.
even realize that you just sat still for almost that count of 99 to 0 for 15 minutes. And if you
Wow.
could do that without thinking, without doing anything, because once you think, you cannot finish. What
Yeah.
happens is, when you're doing your count and you come to 70, then you do counting 69, and then suddenly you say, oh, somebody might come today, I had some work. And you start thinking, your mind, because as soon as you
Yeah.
think, then you go back, oh, I have to finish this count. Was it 70 or was it 67? You know you
You
messed it
lost.
up. And because you've messed it up, you realize, oh, I have to, then I have to go back to the last third. And so here you start realizing that actually I can condition my mind to not
Mhm.
thinking by engaging in the work. And what is the work we are doing? Observing the breath and counting. So it
Yeah.
can be conditioned to non-thinking. If you have a non-thinking mind, you have a mind that experiences things as they are 100%. Because you
Wow.
can understand things 100%, you interact with that thing 100%.
Fantastic. Amazing benefits. But
Yeah.
this training that somebody can receive, is it like only through, by physically being there, or do you do online also?
We do online. There are many videos
Okay.
online also. It's so simple that anybody can just get to know. Like, I taught you the first belt. This is called the red belt of doing the
Okay.
9 to 0, 29 to 0, and 99 to 0. This I just taught. Now you have
Yeah.
to just go and practice. So this is the first belt. Similarly, we have the orange belt, the yellow belt, based on the Vibcure, the colors of the
Okay.
rainbow. We
Oh,
split all them
lovely.
up into different belts. So usually in karate and everything, you go from the white belt to the
To
black
the
belt.
black. Yeah.
We go the other way around. We go from the red to the white belt, because we are the
Oh.
reverse school. Everything is reverse in us. So because what happens is, uh,
Hmm.
Alam, when you start understanding that your mind can go back to think, it's like
Yeah.
before a pouncing, the lion, it knows how much distance it has to cover. You'll always see a lion take 2 steps back before it has to jump on a very, a long note. It
Yeah.
always will take 2 steps back and will jump. We also have this habit. If you have to jump somewhere, if we go back and then we come running again.
You're
Once you
right.
train your mind to see things backwards and frontwards, you are actually verifying things front and
Correct.
back. So this
Yeah.
is free through the foundation. We have many people who do online training in India, in Latin America, in Philippines, and everywhere around the world. You can just Google, and many people can connect on this training. It is called Shunya, Sunya. The one who
Oh.
practices is called Sunyatee. That is why if you see, my name is Sunyatee.
Shunyati. Yeah. Okay. That's
The one,
fantastic. So you also
the
call it SIF.
SIF is our foundation,
SIF.
Sunyatee International Foundation. This foundation is patronized by Dr. Lim, who shares
Yeah.
a major contribution for the functioning of it. The ultimate aim of this foundation is to teach people the art of stillness of mind, so that they can actually focus on their duties and responsibilities of life, and make their life better.
Okay, fantastic. And you're doing a great job. If anyone follows you and sees your Facebook and Insta, I think they know, how you're progressing and how much you're dedicated to this line. So we have Patkar who's also saying that also we go to the school of college to do this Shunya meditation program. That's
So many,
fantastic.
many, many of the Shunyatis, they just go to schools, the college, and Manjunath Patkar is one of our Shunyatis, who actually goes to schools and colleges and teaches children, teachers
Oh,
also. That,
lovely.
yeah, everybody, we teach them to focus their mind and still
Yeah,
their mind, so that they can concentrate on their own work, like the students on studying and the teachers on teaching.
fantastic. And I think students really need it's
Yeah,
good to start young, right? So
absolutely.
yeah, you have a compliment.
Yeah,
Dr. Rajesh Savera is a great teacher. Yes, of course. We all agree with you. He's a
yeah, thank
great
you, thank you.
motivational speaker and he should speak more. I always tell Rajesh, and he's impacted so many people. All of us, we are school friends and everyone looks up to him. So Okay, we have someone from Turkey who has joined.
Yeah, she's so we have the you see now it's so easy, to observe the breath
Yeah,
and to count. Number everybody knows in every language you can count and
correct.
everybody can observe the breath. So it's so simple to practice, but the results
Yeah,
are profound. And you
yeah,
should Alam, you should try yourself, and
I
see
will.
how it can help you to be so focused and sharp. It's like I always give an example. A
Yeah.
knife, a chef with a blunt
Mhm.
knife will always struggle, but a
Right.
chef with a sharp knife will always achieve miraculous results in his work.
Correct.
Similarly, a man with a blunt mind, okay, unstable mind, will always struggle. A person
Yeah.
with a stable mind, a sharp mind, will always be successful.
Correct. Correct. Very, very true. Very true. Of course, we've heard so much from you, but do you have any last message for our viewers
Yeah.
before
So
you
my
part?
last message for everyone is, spare that 5 minutes to start your journey. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. If you can spare that, and such a easy and simple practice, just sit down in some corner, find a place, the way you want to sit down. It doesn't matter. You
Mhm.
sit down. The reason I'm saying don't lie down is because sitting down is the first effort you'll put. And I'm sure everybody can sit down. You sit down on the chair, sit down on the ground, it doesn't matter. But sit down, observe your breath, and count your 9 to 0 in at least 3 cycles, 3 sets, and see for yourself how your mind is. Is it your good friend, or is it your master and you are the slave of it? You can find it out for yourself.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rajesh, for today. And, always indebted to you to, express so much so freely on this platform and, guide so many of our viewers. So thank you. Thank you so much. And you have a good evening. And we'll see you maybe back again on this platform.
Sure, sure. Thank you
And
so much.
yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, so we had Dr. Rajesh Savera with us, and I'm sure you've picked up a lot of tidbits to improve your life. Don't forget breathing. So go back to this video, see how he taught you, and continue that. And do let us know what your experience was. So thank you so much for today, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.